Beats, how are you this beautiful day? We are recording this in the beautiful month of April, which I call my new year because it is springtime and things are growing and coming forth, and it's time for renewal and reset. And so I thought, what better way to start this month with another new special guest who is going to help us get organized, declutter, not only those things that you've been keeping around the house and you know you need to clear the dust off, but what about the dust that we keep in our mind? What about that programming and that overwhelm and that self-sabotage and all those things? We are going to get into it. If you are visiting for the very first time, my name is Sharon, the Heart Lady, and this station, Heart Station, is all about learning new ways to heal ourselves, discovering different types of modalities, holistic modalities for, and I interview quite a few holistic practitioners. So, with nothing else more to say, but to welcome our guest, Jenny P. She is creator of Living Artistry, and you will see why. She is an alignment designer. And you're going to say, what is an alignment designer? Well, stay tuned because you're getting ready to find out what that is. Welcome, Jenny P. How are you, darling?
Thank you. Thank you for having me so much. Gratitude all around. I am so excited to be here.
Thank you. Absolutely. So, when I was talking to you earlier, I was like, okay, so you help declutter. I got some stuff in my closet. I got some stuff that need to be
Uh-huh.
organized. Can you recreate? Do you do some feng shui? Tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, I do everything from decluttering in the traditional sense, helping people get rid of their stuff, to helping people move with ease and unpack and get excited about their new space, to even clearing the mental clutter and being able to help you quiet your mind so that you can listen to your body through sound sessions that I do with my clients, which is just so very rewarding. So, we get stuck on such a level, whether it's physical, mental, it's all really connected. And I just like to help people through the whole process.
Yeah, so I like how you said that, whether it's physical or mental, because sometimes when we have a mess in our car, we have a mess underneath our bed, we have a mess in our rooms, we have a mess
Mhm.
where we work, it really has a connection to what's going on in the mind. Wouldn't you say so?
I absolutely agree. Even personally for myself, it's all organic and an ebb and flows. And sometimes when I see the little piles start to kind of, oh, wait a minute, then that means I probably have too much going on in my mind and not enough time to just center myself. So I know that I'm not the only one going through that.
Absolutely no, I am
Mhm.
guilty. When you said,
Yeah.
Jenny, when you said you help quiet the mind. How do you quiet the mind? Is that meditation? What is that?
So when I do my sound sessions, they vary. Sometimes it can be quiet, serene, uh, singing bowls and wind chimes and all that pretty stuff that you think of when you think of a sound bath. And then sometimes it's releasing the pent up frustrations or anger. This weekend, we did a sound bath outside at a bonfire, and it was prime time for people to literally scream it out.
Oh, wow.
And just,
Absolutely.
yes, and just, when was the last time you just screamed for no reason?
Reason,
And,
yes.
you know,
I like that because it is really getting rid of that pent up energy,
hmm
you know. And so
hmm
it's like if you haven't had it for a while and then you have a real big you know what I mean?
uh-huh.
That's the type of energy that really comes out.
hmm
And then, I think about when we, just yell and scream. Also, a lot of us find our true voice because you really don't know your view voice until you hear it coming all the way out. But for some of
hmm
my listeners who may be new or may not even heard of what a sound bath is, could you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Sure. It's traditionally the white crystal singing bowls where you see people sitting on the floor. I do mine standing up. I've never had a sit down job, and I found that doing sound baths on the floor wasn't comfortable for me. I like to move around the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
I like to move around the clients, and so I have my stuff set up on a table, and it's just vibrations coming off of this bowl where you'll see my hands kind of going like this around the bowl, and it absorbs into your body and with different frequencies, and it's really like a cellular massage. I heard somebody describe it as that,
Oh,
and
I
I
love
thought that
that.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, that was just, I said, oh, I'm taking that. That's the
Yes,
perfect
me too.
description. Yeah, that's the perfect description. So whether
Yes.
some people will fall asleep, you still get the benefit. Your body will still, feel the vibration whether you're asleep or not. But most of my clients they'll stay awake, and I've had everything from people traveling, jumping planets in their sound baths to people. I had this one client who had a locked jaw, and she said she felt her jaw release during the sound bath. So that was pretty amazing to hear that kind of feedback, that it, is physically making changes in the moment for everyone. So
Mm.
you
And
kind
that's
of get the gamut.
powerful healing because,
Hmm.
real results during the time is just so satisfying. And the
Hmm.
vibrations, everything is vibration, everything is energy that goes in cycles. And so the vibrations break up stuff
Hmm.
yourself.
Yep.
And I also noticed it wasn't a sound bath, but I was doing a session. I was teaching a session, as a matter of fact. I teach at Transcendent Life Coach. I'm one of the facilitators. So I was teaching about belief systems. And we started with this, crystal. We always
Uh-huh, with
start
the
with
bowls, yeah.
bowls, right? And
Hmm.
so I noticed the binaural that it seems as though the sound was going from one left ear to right ear.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is so cool. Most of the
Yeah.
time, if I'm doing it by myself, I'll use the brass Tibetan bowls
Oh
to
yes,
do
I
mine.
love those. Those are
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
favorite.
really?
Yes.
I love those. And I said, I think I'm going to switch to crystals because I love the vibration from the crystals. So,
That's fun.
yeah.
Everybody has a different resonance,
Yeah, and
right?
it's so funny because I use the brass ones all the time, but I hadn't
Mm-hmm.
noticed the sound and how relaxed everybody got after that and was ready to do the work. So that's cool. And so
Yeah.
you also organize and clear energy. What does that mean?
That's part of it, clearing out the emotional sludge. Uh, when you walk into say you're in your bedroom and you're getting ready for the day, and you walk through your house to the kitchen, and by the time you get to your car, how many, like you said, piles of clutter have you passed going from your bedroom to your bathroom to leaving? Are you having issues finding your keys or your purse, your phone, all of that stuff? So clearing the energy, when you clear those piles, then it clears your line of sight. It clears your mind. You're not thinking, oh, I need to get to that. I'm going to get to that tomorrow, or I'll get to that later. You're already thinking outside of what your focus is on in that moment, because you're distracted by this over here and that. I got to do this. So you can't just go from point A to point B. And
How
so
does that
that's just,
impact your relationship with others, particularly if you're going to work or just the relationship in your household? How does having a lot of clutter and a lot of things to do impact you mentally?
well, it really is not surprising the amount of anxiety that we live with today, just
Mm.
as a society, because all of that just creates this anxiety of, I need to do this. You don't feel like you're doing good enough. I'm not doing well, and I'm not being my best self. I have all these things. I don't want people to come over. So then you don't invite people over. And then you don't want to go out because you think, oh, I want to stay home and I need to clean all this stuff up. And really, the biggest thing is that you just lack habits that support you.
I
A
like
lot.
that. Yes.
Yes. So a lot of us have habits, whether we either learn them from growing up
Hmm.
or we just learn them by default.
Yeah.
Just throwing something on the floor. I don't feel like wearing this color. Let me throw it on the floor instead of hanging it back up. And then before you get out of your closet, you've got a pile of clothes on the
Yeah.
floor. And now it's a whole task that you have to do later instead
Yes.
of 8 seconds of putting it back on the
The
hanger.
hanger, right? Or putting
Hmm.
it in the laundry, right?
Right.
But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and when you explain to people that it is about changing habits, and those are a little harder to break because we've been doing it for so long.
Right.
Practice, practice, practice every
Hmm.
time, and it's training the mind, training the brain to do what best serves you, as you said, and you really get a release. To me, when you clear the clutter, you can
Hmm.
breathe. I'm in the process right now of um spring cleaning. So for me,
Hmm.
I just cleaned out my pantry. I just cleaned out my cupboards underneath my bathroom sinks,
Uh-huh.
and now I'm my family thinks I don't know what's wrong with her, but every season I have to change, right? I have to change either my curtains or the pillows, something I have to change. I have to welcome in the spring, the summer season
Hmm.
with a whole
Right.
different vibe. That's me. So I'm in the middle of changing right now. The bathroom curtains are waiting for me to put them up. I've
Yeah.
changed my bedspread. I had a dark color bedspread for the winter, and now I
Hmm.
just put it into a beautiful white. So that's how I clear my clutter. And what I notice is it's when the place is airy and you've cleared the clutter, you
Hmm.
like you just breathe.
You can breathe,
You
right?
breathe, and it's just a whole nother vibe. And I noticed the changes throughout the years, especially when I change it to, the holiday season and it's more festive, and I have those colors that support the season. It's
Hmm.
like, like I said, it's a whole vibe. So I don't care what anybody say. I'm changing up.
Do it. But you know
Recycle.
what? You know what happens when you do that and you
But
decide to do that consistently is you're consistently looking at your things. You're
yes.
consistently right now I'm on a multi-day pack job where we're helping a family that's lived in a house for 30 years.
Yep.
And most of the time, you can tell when a family has lived there for 30 years and they've raised three kids and all
Yep.
the things. But they,
That's me.
but this wife has done what you do in the sense of you couldn't tell they'd lived there for 3 decades because of how consistently she would go through her things and get rid of things that she just didn't either need anymore. It didn't mean that she didn't have a lot of stuff. It's just that everything she had a purpose
Purpose. Yes.
and it had a meaning. So it
Yeah.
wasn't just a bunch of clutter everywhere.
Right.
And it
That's
was
right.
just really awesome to see the other side of what I usually see, where somebody's able to do that on a regular basis
Yeah.
and what that really looks like.
One of
Yeah.
my friends, she taught me. She didn't know she taught me that, but she said this to me, and I said, I'm going to do that. So every time she bought a pair of shoes, she would get rid of one.
Yes.
Every time she bought new clothes, she would clean up, not clean out her
Yeah.
closet, but she would take what she's had for years or know that
Yes.
she's not wearing anymore, outgrew,
Hmm.
fit. And I said, I'm gonna do that. And that's such a great space saver than
Hmm.
shoving it in. Yeah, so I agree
Yeah.
with that. And then, there is something, I live in a house and there's an attic. And I know that so this year I said, I'm going to clear out that attic because I know that adds to stuck energy and it's
It
right. If
does.
it's for me, my bedroom is right underneath it. So it's like, oh, I need to clear
Mhm.
some of this out so you
Right,
can have
right.
more clarity. And it's really an energetic, spiritual thing that if you think about, and for those who read the King James Version, it says cleanliness is next to godliness, right? And so
Hmm.
just cleaning and clearing, clean heart, clean body, clean mind,
Hmm.
clean space. So
Hmm.
I am with you eye to eye.
Yes.
Jenny P, I am noticing that beautiful painting. Is it a painting? Is it a canvas? But
No,
whatever
yeah,
that
it's a
design
canvas.
behind you is gorgeous.
Thank you. It's one of my paintings. So the Living Artistry comes from I'm an artist. I've been a musician, an artist, a
Oh,
painter. And so doing the sound bowls taps into my love for music and doing painting
I
and
can see that. Yeah.
yeah. So I
Oh, hence the name creator of Living Artistry. So I got the connection. I love that.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah, how you organize in your house. It's an art to know how to place things that are
Hmm.
easy access, how to clear the
Yes.
clutter. And then,
Hmm.
so that's an art and it's a design, right? Because you're
Yes.
also what your title is an alignment designer.
Designer.
I
Yes.
love that. How did you come up with that name?
I just the alignment thing is everywhere. It is
Mhm.
in everything. It's not just your tires in your car. It's how you feel on a regular basis. Are you in alignment or are you not? Is your mind clear or is it foggy? And a lot of times when it's foggy, it's because you're not in alignment with your best self or with your favorite self. A lot of times oh, what's our best self? But what's our favorite
I
self?
love that. What is your favorite self? Because as a matter of fact, that taps into what I was teaching last week, talking about personas, right? And that
Hmm.
we become different people depending on the environment and who we're talking, right?
Hmm.
So how I'm talking to my family in my native Jamaican twang is one way, and that could be one persona.
Right.
Mother to child, that's another persona. Your honey
Hmm.
to you, that's another persona. To
Right.
your co-workers, that's another persona. So being in alignment, but also with those different personas, there is your own personal characteristic. And then you know that you are coming out of who you really are. And I call it staying in integrity with who you really are. Because people
Yes.
pull you out, right? People can,
Yeah. Yeah.
your ego. Yeah.
If you're not clear on who you are,
Yeah.
then you will get pulled when you
Yeah.
walk into a room. So you're
Yeah.
either setting the tone or you're getting pulled. And sometimes the pull is good. Sometimes you're like, oh, wow, you're full of just all this knowledge that I've been looking for. This is
Yeah.
great.
I
But
like
then
that.
sometimes you're like, who are you? We don't need, no, I don't want to be here. But if you're not clear
Yeah.
on who you are or
Yeah.
who you deliberately want to be,
Yeah. Become.
then
Yeah.
it just makes everything harder. So the alignment design is everything is by design, right?
Mhm.
So why can we not design our life the way that we want it to so that we align mentally, physically, spiritually, and everything is just runs like a car that you just bought that's in
Yeah.
perfect alignment.
Right. And I'm thinking that it's the source of happiness when you're in alignment with who you want to become, who you really truly are, what really resonates with you.
Mm-hmm.
Find that happiness within yourself because I think a lot of times people are working in a job that really doesn't align with what they want to do. I know I've been in there, I've worked in the
Same.
medical field for years and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a holistic practitioner, right?
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
they will tell you take this medicine and I'll be like, I'm taking this herb. And so having to tell people that, you need to take this medication and I'm thinking about all
Mm-hmm.
the side effects. I
Right.
was like, I'll combine this and this and this and drink this tincture and
Mm-hmm.
and have my sound bath
Right.
and do my yoga or do some
Yeah.
lymphatic draining and all of that
Mm-hmm.
good stuff instead of taking some medication that could be more harmful to my body. And so when
Right.
I recognize that I'm not happy in this setting, I said it's time for me to just really walk into what I know, and I feel like I would have happiness and in alignment. And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a hypocrite. I don't feel like I'm lying to my
Right.
patients. At
Right.
that time, I felt like I was always lying to my patients because I would never do this for my child. I would never do this for myself. But the doctor says you need to do this, so do that. And so when I realized I can't do this anymore, because
Yeah.
as you grow spiritually and as you mature, then you begin to learn, that's not for me. And I
Right.
think every year we need to reassess where we are so that we are in alignment. So I really like that, Jenny P, that you are
Yay.
the creator, you are the alignment designer. And I love the fact that you juxtapose what's going on physically with what's going on mentally and help to organize and reorganize
Hmm.
using breath work. Tell me a little bit about the breath work before we get ready to leave.
Well, the breath work I do usually in conjunction with my sound baths. Sometimes I will bring a bowl. Well, I always have at least one bowl with me on my jobs, no matter whether it's a pack job or an organizing.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because I ideally like to start the session with the bowl, and I will put the bowl in the client's hand, and we just take a moment and we just breathe and we ring the bowl, and it just helps everybody center and get calm. And a lot of times with the decluttering, it's really emotional, and so sometimes I'll bring the bowl back out. Her name is Shanti, which means peace, and we'll sit there and we'll play with the bowl. But as far as the breath work goes, a lot of times I use it at the beginning of my sound baths just to help people notice your breath, because we take it for granted because our bodies just naturally do it.
Yeah.
But are we really breathing deep? Are we feeling our body, or are we just getting the
Yeah.
shallow in and out
Yes.
breath?
Yes.
And yes, and so I'll do different techniques to kind of get people, depending on how far I think they're out of alignment,
Yeah.
so it'll vary depending on the individual clients.
You know,
Or, yeah.
I definitely understand that as someone who does heart work, and I know
Hmm.
that, and someone from in the medical field, that a lot of people who have cardiac issues is because they shallow breathe, they breathe from the
Hmm.
chest and don't take a whole breath from the diaphragm and move the breath up. And
Hmm.
breathing, as you said before, each session is really helping them feel present right now, where you are and feeling everything. And I
Hmm.
love the idea that you would do that um, as you are decluttering a home and each space, because it's clearing out the energy.
Hmm.
Then having your client being aligned with that and help um, removing some of that stuck energy. That is beautiful. I love it, Jenny B. I
It's
love
so
it.
freeing. It's so freeing because
Yeah.
a, it's a lot of the stuff that we keep is out of guilt. So
Hmm.
and so gave it to me, so it was a gift. So
Yes.
and so gave it. I even had a client say, "My aunt gave me this painting that her kids didn't want." So first of all, she didn't want the painting anymore. Her
Yeah.
kids didn't want it,
Yeah.
but she wants to give it to you for what reason?
Right. And then you stuck it behind something and nobody still can't see it.
And it was
Right.
like a painting this size. It wasn't even a small painting. And she stuck it in a closet. And I said, I think it's safe to say that you did the job that you set out to do by saying yes to your on in the moment. But now it's time to let it go because they didn't want it. So you don't need to hold on. We don't need to gift our clutter to people. So that's,
Nice. Oh, wow. I didn't even think like that. Yes.
mm-hmm,
But I'm guilty off of that. That's why I said I had to clear out my attic because when you have children, you kind of keep these sentimental things.
mm-hmm,
Oh, when they have children, they're gonna keep
uh-huh,
it. They don't want that
uh,
crap. Trust me, they don't want it. Oh, and when they get bigger, I got this. I have two. My kids used to have the bunk beds, and
uh-huh.
they had matching comforters, and they were little Care Bears. And I said,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to keep those so that they could get. And then I said, okay, they don't want it. So whenever we have sleepovers with the kids, they can have. That doesn't happen. And so you just keep on. I'm, I'm like, why
Yes.
am I keeping this? The kids don't want it. I'll wash it and then give it to because I liked it. Not
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't like it, but it no longer serves me. And the
Right.
children don't want it, but there are many places, charity pickup, that
Right.
will take it if it's clean and good condition. I'm really particular that if I'm giving to charity, I'm not giving something that smells, that's nasty,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you wouldn't use. It's just
Right.
outgrown it and you have no use and it's taking up space. So if it's
Yeah.
been there for years, like I am guilty, Jenny P, don't tell anybody, but
We're
I
all
have some
guilty.
comforters from my kids are in their 40s and
Yeah.
and I'm
Give it,
like,
hey, give it to them. Give it to them. And if they don't want it,
they don't
then
want
let
it.
it go.
They don't want it.
Because at this point, it's their memories are now suffocating you.
Yeah.
They go from being happy memories
Yeah.
to overwhelm.
Yeah.
I was in a house not that long ago where they lived there for 25 years and they had saved, I don't know if anything left that house that came in except for actual trash, because every kid's project, everything was saved. Everything was there from their two kids.
Yeah.
And instead of it being a joyous reminder, it's now a full-blown anxiety attack that you can't even get through
Yeah.
your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. So
it's
thank you for that. I will be clearing it out before it gets too hot. I will be clearing
yes.
all that clutter. Thank you for that. And I'm hoping heartbeats. Uh-oh. We lost her, but we will be back. So hold on. You're on mute, Jenny. You know technology, it happens. Unmute yourself for me.
Step on mute.
Perfect. No worries. Well, it was time to wrap up, but we are controlling this AI. We got this.
Right. We had to clear some clutter. I mean,
We got
it needed to go.
it. They told me, I know you need to clean that attic. Go ahead, stop talking and go clean.
Right. Right. Right.
So Jennifer, tell us how can we get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, livingartistry.org, or you can also follow me on Instagram at alignment designer. And, just reach out and I can help you out with whatever you need. And it can be fun and easy, and decluttering is way more fun with somebody than by yourself. So,
Yeah, and I hear a lot of organized say that you should have a pile, a yes pile, a no pile, a maybe pile.
mhm.
What do you think?
Yes, but I also think that when you have a donate pile, it needs to go the day that you decide to donate it.
Oh, wow. Is that a tip for the day?
The tip for the day is, if you actually do a clearing out of your stuff and you have a donate pile, put it in your car. Okay. So even if
Wow.
you
Not in a
don't
plastic
go,
bag in your garage or outside or in some
yes,
closet.
put it in your car.
Oh,
And the
wow.
next time you go out, make a point to stop by a donation center or a charity. And then that way you don't start going back through it like, oh wait, I think I want it. No, you
I've
committed
done
to
that.
letting it go.
I've,
Yeah.
I've, I've actually done that. I've put it in a box and then
Mm-hmm.
I passed it. And I was like, you know what? I might be able to get a couple of more wears of that shoe because I
Mm-hmm.
really did like that shoe. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, but when is the last time you wore that shoe?
Exactly, because those shoes hurt.
Yeah,
And so
years
you
ago. And
haven't
I'm
worn
like,
them. Yeah, no.
thank you so much, so much. Jenny, it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to our heartbeats before we
Uh,
leave?
I would just like to say that just breathe and stay grateful. And if it's not supporting you, it's holding you down. Let it
Thank
go.
you. All right, heartbeats, you heard it right here. Stay tuned and check out the other videos that we have from other holistic practitioners, but also make sure that you think about what Jenny P has told us, how decluttering was going on in your house, in your car, in your office, in your drawers, things that, I'm a shoe lover. So those shoes that they were hurting your feet, and that you only wore them twice, and you probably won't wear them again. Don't wait for the new pair because that's lack of. Get rid of it and start anew. So
Yes.
definitely. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you.
Take care
Thank you
now.
so much.
All right. One love, heartbeats.